and doing a lot of builds and different things like that. So it's certainly not a holiday per se, but hey, the weather helps. The weather helps. There's a nice beer that helps as well. That is always good. And but like I said, it is great to be here with you guys today on a Thursday, as per usual. My apologies for the little bit of technical issues. Whenever I logged in with a couple of minutes before the top of the hour there, the stream said that it had ended. Right now, whether that was because it was set up UK time and it didn't transfer across to my computer, I have no idea. I will have to go and look into it because I can make a bit of a habit of this of doing training from a nicer climate. So it's good to see you guys all filling into the room. And of course, anybody catching us on the replay as well. And as Dana says, it looks like you are somewhere lovely. I am indeed. It is absolutely beautiful. A little bit too warm. If I'm now, that is really a first world problem, something being too warm. But it is a little bit warm for me, so I'm well shaded here at this minute in time. But as the sun starts to come towards me a little bit, I may have to take a pause, reposition to stay out of the sun because my colouring and the sun, they do not go well together. But of course, today we are here to talk about testing PPC. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to be able to share up my screen, go down through kind of some questions to start with so that we can see the whens, the whys, the hows, all of these different things, and then actually put something live. So going into Seller Central with a product on one of our accounts and putting something live in terms of testing the PPC. Okay. Now, as always, do make sure you're keeping that chat box rolling along nicely. If there's anything that you don't understand, or if I'm calling for engagement, let's make sure that we have our questions in there and all of that good stuff. So I'm going to share up my screen here. If I can just 1 little second, I'm going to move something on, and I know I may have a little bit of dropout in terms of my bandwidth because I am outside and a little bit away from the internet connection, but we'll bear with it. So first off, I guess I should also say the bandwidth is pretty good. You can hear me loud and clear. You can hear all my friends here in the background, which is all these crickets. But let me know inside the chat box. Sound is good, vision is good, or goodish, right? It's suitable to be able to share up a screen, and that'll be great. And hey Sue, how's it going? Hello. So while I'm just waiting on that lag to come through, I'm just going to move over onto this window for a number of different areas where I am. And then I will resize this so I can still see your comments. Let me see. Yep, there we go. And I'll move this ever so slightly so that I can still see the comments from everybody. So really what we're looking at here, first of all, is a couple of different questions. And it gets us into this flavor of testing out PPC. Because a number of times we kind of think, should I be testing PPC? All right. So let me know inside the chat box, guys. This question here: why would we test PPC? Now that also could be when, right? Would we test PPC? Okay. So why or when, right? Let me know inside the chat box as to what you think about why or when we would be moving down the line of testing some or multiple PPC campaigns. And we'll be able to create a bit of a list, which allows you then to reference this, anytime that you're thinking about it. Right. So if we're starting to test PPC, really it's the start of it. Okay. So if we're looking at spend, right, it's a good point, but that would be if we've got a PPC campaign or campaigns already in there. So it's kind of not why or when we would test out a PPC campaign. All right. I'll give you a bit of a starter. So for example, if we had low sessions, all right, so we got low sessions on a product, okay, in a country, okay? That is one thing that we might want to do, okay? Now, I see Sue maybe a little bit of lag here. It's just said, after selling for a certain period of time, we want to increase the sessions. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to sort of merge that around a little bit. And it's really just taking those last two words to increase sessions, all right? So when we have a product, and it could be that it has low sessions, it could be that it has high sessions, but we're just looking to increase the sessions on a product. And again, if this has got low, this would be kind of like an item that's not performing. This could be an item that is performing, okay? Product is performing, right? But you haven't got any PPC on it, all right? We want to increase the sessions on a product in a country that currently has no PPC, all right? Now, another point to this low sessions area could be to test unit session percentage, all right? Because if you don't have an awful lot of sessions, then sometimes you can think to yourself, well, do I have a sessional problem? But it looks like I've got a sessional problem and a unit session percentage problem. But you may not have had enough sessions to effectively test the unit session percentage, okay? So that could certainly be something. Another thing that we could do here is we are aggressively trying to exit a product, okay? So we've decided that this particular product is not, it's in an exit area in terms of our inventory, and we're just going to aggressively try to exit the product. And that's pretty good, guys, right? That really sort of covers the vast majority of why or when, right, we would start testing out our PPC. And of course, this one here, right, increasing the sessions on a product, I will put a little bit of caveat on that. That product is performing. So that is like, it's getting sales, it's got sessions, and it has I would call it a solid USP, right? Because we're expecting the PPC is going to have exactly the same unit session percentage. Okay, so if we've got something that's not quite on par, it's not optimized in terms of our unit session percentage, running PPC is just going to jack up that noise. All right, and we don't want that, right? We're not going to jack up the noise of a product that's not performing as well as it could in terms of unit session percentage. Okay, now, next question, right? We'll kind of cover this one. What do we need to test PPC? Okay, so you're coming in, you realize that you want to test PPC. You've worked out your why that you're going to be testing. What is it that we need in order to go and test out our PPC, right? Let me know inside the chat box. You want to put in one comment or one idea, or maybe you've multiple ideas. Let me know inside the chat box. And I'll wait on my little lag, and I'll have another little drink of this. Lovely. This is a fix beer. It's a low alcohol one, but it's very, very good. Very, very tasty. I'll make sure and stay hydrated with a nice beer. So Sue says what we need is a set of key phrases for the product. Okay. Gateway then goes on to expand on that a little bit. Says phrases for an exact campaign. Okay. So that's good, right? So we need a list of expressions, okay, previously called phrases. The reason why I changed that to expressions is there is, of course, a phrase campaign. Right? So you definitely need a list of expressions, okay? The other thing that we need to work out is kind of like a plan or a structure, okay? Because we need to know like what campaigns we're running, okay, and things like that. We're going to add into this in a little second. Gateway also says we need a budget. Of course we do. We definitely need a budget because we need to know what we're putting down in terms of money to test out the campaign or these campaigns. All right, absolutely, we need that. So really, whenever we're talking here, what campaigns, we also then kind of have, if we have a budget, then we have an expectation. Okay, so we got to work out what the expectations are. No doubt about this. No doubt about it. And we also kind of like the really stupid one is we need to know which product, right? Which product are we going to do? Because I do sort of look at this and say, do one product at a time. Okay, you start doing multiple products. The first one that you do, you're going to put a lot of effort into it. You're going to get all the different things. And then if you go to do the second one straight away, immediately right after, it will be a fraction of the optimization. You won't go through all the different steps because each time you're going down through it, especially in one day, it's going to become more and more tedious, a little bit more boring. You're going to skip some steps. It's what human beings do. Okay, that's what we do. So if you're going to start in the test in a PPC campaign or campaigns, do them one day at a time. Okay, make sure and spread them out. Now, when we have this, right? When do we evaluate our results? Okay, so next campaign, our next question inside chat box. When do we evaluate our results? And actually, that's another very good point to put into this little document here, which Gateway brought up. What do we need to test PPC? We need to put into our calendar, right? Events, right? If that is inside your Google Calendar, or time set aside to evaluate, weed, etc. Okay, all of those different things that we do inside a campaign. You're going to have to put these things into the calendar so that they're going to get done. All right, so let's have a look. When do we evaluate our results? All right, now there is a couple of different answers here, right, which are all accurate and do need to be put in to our document here so that we can start building out our plan. Okay, so I'll wait to see what everybody is saying in terms of when do we evaluate the results. And of course, the results are ongoing. That might give you a little bit of a clue. I'll just wait on my lag coming through, as I know that you are feverishly typing away into that chat box to let me know when we evaluate. So, Sue says, short term, I do a daily check, make sure nothing's running away. Absolutely, right? The next day after lunch, okay? Then every day for about 3 to 4 days, right? Reason for that is exactly what Sue says, that nothing's running away with itself, right? You don't have some bad expression in there that's just like wrecking different things, okay? Then it kind of moves into more of a weekly check, right? Weekly check after this is complete, okay? And then what we're doing is as Gateway says there, a monthly review. Okay. Now everything is moving in terms of reporting. Everything's moving to monthly, right? So we are going to get that monthly review, but a weekly check, right? Two completely different things. The weekly check is going down through, making sure that nothing's running away with itself, all of the different bits that we do. And then we take a step back and we look at this in a little bit more holistic sort of approach of, right, that's what happened in that month, what was happening here, a bigger set of data, all of that different stuff, okay? So, everybody, inside the chat box, are we happy with what you've got right there, right? Are we happy with all that? Do we have any questions? Is there anything like that? Give me a happy inside the box or a yes. All of that different stuff. Or if we've got a question, please ask. And Mr. Murray has asked me if I have enough water. I've got this lovely water here, but I will definitely change it up for a water in a second. So let me just wait and see. Yeah, so we're starting to get some yeses, some happies through, or at least we're getting a couple. But I want to make sure that everybody is on the same page here. Now, if we are all happy, I will just give it another little second for everybody just to come through, because maybe somebody's typing in a big, long question. for me, so I just want to make sure. And Gateway says yes, but this will be done with All Plus. Absolutely, right? Absolutely, this will be done in All Plus, so you'll get all this done for you inside the Plus. It's a good little thing to be able just to kind of go through, so you know what's being done on your behalf, right? It makes it easier for us that you know what we're doing, right? But also it makes it easier for us to know that you know what we're doing, right? So whenever we go to say we want to run this, it's not a complete mystery to you as to why something like that is being done inside Plus. It gives you this thing of why are we testing? Why are we waiting? Why did we get rid of this different thing? So yeah, absolutely, completely available inside Plus. Included inside Plus. So what I want to move over to is I want to move over by looking at this and saying, right, what we have on this product here is we have a low sessions on the product that I'm going to show. Okay, we've got low sessions in a product. We do have a USP. Okay, we do have a USP, but we need to increase these sessions. All right, to make this product more viable in the future. So we then also know which product that we have. All right, we know which product that we have. And this product here, in terms of a list of expressions, okay, let me just mark that off. What we've got over here, which should now be showing, yeah, okay, great stuff. So what we've got is we've got a list of expressions for this particular product, okay. Now, if anybody here took advantage of All Reach, right, and filled out my little form, I've either got back to you with something that looks a little bit like this already, or maybe I still to come back to you with one of these, or maybe you filled out a couple, and I've done one, and I've got to get back to you with the other one. Okay, so this will be familiar to some people. Anybody who it's not familiar with, and you want this, remember, I offered this inside All Reach, right? Whenever I was talking about a service that we can provide to design out the PPC campaigns for you with a load of different keywords available there as well. Okay, go back, review that area. If you don't know where it is, send me a DM, a message inside Circle here. I'll give you all of the information so that you can get your hands on this. Okay, and I'm sure anybody who has got one of these can let everybody else know inside chat box. Was it useful? Did you like it? Was it good? Did you see the level of effort that was put into that particular service? Well worth the money if you had paid for it, which of course you didn't have to, because I was running promotion in August where you were able to get the hold of these. So what we get back here is this list of, they call them phrases, right? I should just change this over to expressions, right? We got a big list of expressions. And then what we get is 4 different columns. Okay, we get a priority score, we get a relevancy score, right? So the priority of this word, we get the relevancy of this expression, we get the opportunity. Okay, so we get an opportunity on how many of their competitors are kind of bidding on this, or is it a little bit of an open market, right? And all 3 of these scores are marked out of 1,000. Okay, 1,000 being the most priority, most relevancy, or the biggest opportunity. And then the volume here is really, the volume is based on the phrase and how many searches the system feels are being done on a monthly basis. Okay, now what we're looking for here is we're looking for the 3 main areas where I've been talking about recently: exact campaigns, phrase campaigns, and a 200 campaign. Right now, an exact campaign wants priority and it wants volume. Okay, a phrase campaign wants relevancy and it wants volume. And a 200 campaign is really simple. If the volume is 200, okay, as in the system doesn't know how many it is, right? Whenever it comes up 200, that means the system doesn't know, right? It could be 0, it could be, it wouldn't be 5,000 or anything like that, because then the system would know, but It's either zero, it might be as many as 100, it could be 200, it could be 300, it could even maybe be 400 or 500, but the system really doesn't know. Right? Now, we do things with this slightly differently, right? So what we're looking for straight away down this list is what are expressions that our product is just not, right? It's not our product, right? This product I'm talking about here is a display case for a baseball hat, right? For a hat, a duncher, right? That sort of thing. I just realized I've said duncher, and that will mean nothing to anybody. Maybe Mr. Murray or anybody else from Northern Ireland on the call. That will mean nothing. A hat, right? Peak hat, which you can, that's a nice peak hat, you know, a premium one, something that's very important. Maybe it's signed by a famous footballer or soccer star or something like that. It's something that you're going to display. Right? So straight away, you'll see here, I've got this line in like a pinky red color. Right? And the reason why I put that in is like this product is not a crown display case, right? It is not a display case for putting a crown in, okay? So immediately what we want to do is there's nothing that we can do with this particular word. We want to delete this out, okay? Same here down in row 15, right? It is not a trophy case, right? It's not a display case for a trophy. It's for a hat, right? Now, we also have a couple here in yellow, which are loose, right? They are loose connections. So you can see here, this one's a clear acrylic display box. Well, it is clear. It is acrylic, and it is a display box, right? But that may be a little bit disingenuous, okay? The other one here, and looser than the previous one, that is signed really down loose, right? So we've got to go down and weed, right? Sue says, so where will I keep my crown? Well, maybe we should go look at the opportunity on crown display cases and see, you know, is there a market in there for crown display cases? Maybe the King and Queen of England are looking to do a bit of an upgrade. I don't know how many regal people there are in the world. All right. I think it's a relatively low demand product for the regals and the kings and queens out there. But hey, who knows? Right? I've never researched that product. But very good. But we can see that these other ones, right? Let's look at the top here, right? Hat display case, baseball hat display case, hat case display, baseball kit, right? The whole way down to row 10. Okay. Now there's a reason why these ones are coming up with, you know, priority scores. Some are 1,000s, in the high hundreds are coming up in here. And our rid this campaign by starting from the bottom up, so to speak, right? Because we've got a really easy thing that we can do. Okay, what we can do is we can just sort this, right, by volume, okay, and do it from Z to A. Okay, now what we can do is we can take all of this stuff out, right, because like this is a 200 campaign, right? So all of these, right, all of these right here. My computer decides to play ball. I think he's thinking about it. Maybe he's starting to go a little bit weird in the sun. There we go. So let me just take all of these here. I'll just turn to the bottom. And I'm going to take those out. Okay. And I'm going to put them over here inside of this floats. I can hear the obviously feeding. It's going to plonk those right in. Right. I'll paste that right in. And then we can take these out of our list, right? Because they're just, there's a lot of 200s, right? So they are just muddying up the area on us, okay? And of course, we would have filtered those first by taking that information. We're just not a hat display here. Yes, definitely feeling the pinch, the old computer here. Okay, so that is all ruled out for us, right? So the 200 campaign is done, okay? We've done the 200 campaign. But now what we're looking for is we're looking for priority score, right? So we're looking at priority score and we're looking at volume, okay? So things that have a priority score and they is, acrylic storage box, that for instance, we've really only got three, right? Three phrases that I would be putting into an exact campaign here, okay? So I'm going to take these, I'm going to put them over, I'm going to put them into my exact campaign, okay? So those are now in there. And let me then just rule those. No, sorry, I keep those in for now, okay? So I've got my exam campaign. Now what I need is my rep. See if it's going to play ball for me. Everybody interesting, right? It's something you can put into practice or at least learn about. And whenever you're inside Plus, you'll know what we're doing. Let me know. Okay, so we now have our relevancy, okay? And realistically speaking here, we've got something with relevancy and we've got a bit of a volume estimate, and we can use the same thing inside exact and inside phrase because phrase is a completely different campaign. Okay, so I'm looking down here and I'm saying, right, a hat case, it's not overly relevant. So for me, actually, here, right, don't have a ton of volume on the baseball hat display either, right? But I'm sort of going to put this in. It's just about no more. It's got a good relevancy score. It's a great opportunity there, right? Nearly 1,000. So that is going to go into my phrase campaign, and I'm testing here. Remember I said about slowly. Right? I said about slowly take it. Okay. So I've got my exact campaign. I've got my phrase campaign now, right? And then what I want to be doing is I want to be looking over and I want to be looking at my competitors. Okay. So if I'm inside of Amazon and I'm going for the generic key term, hat display case, right? Yeah, I think I'm really struggling here with internet. So I think what we might do is being set up. But what we've got is right, we've got a number of different competitors to the product, right? So I would be going down, making sure that I've gone into this particular right, which is an exact replicant or a very close replicant, right? And this particular product. Okay. Now, certainly, what you guys consider a good idea. Um, but also, you could go and do this, right? Get your list of expressions from me from the RH, and then going down to do the competitors, so that you can actually start testing out these campaigns. And as you can see, there's not a massive amount of phrases, right? There's not going to be a massive amount of competitors. And then we can also build out complementary offline here while because of my internet, but I want to create all of these different competitors here. Okay. And then I'm also going to create a list of complementary products. Okay. Complementary products. And what do we mean by complementary products? Well, if there was a product, purchase our product, okay, along the like baseball hats, right? So I did something pretty cool on this, right? Baseball hats. Right? Now I want to get tons of results back here, right? So over 60,000, and I can see my sound is cutting in and out. So I'll in about 2 minutes, and then we'll come back and do this whenever my internet is a million times better. And I actually went and I did a sort, right, because I want to straight away was like premium baseball hats. I went down and actually found a number of baseball hats, right, that were like premium, like $50, $100, that sort of thing. I'm going to back in a little bit. Uh, that we're probably going to have to come back around a second go next week. Okay, guys. So, like I was saying there, I think that my internet is very unstable here at this minute in time. I think the sun is starting to play havoc with the computer. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it there for today, and in next week at some stage I'll make sure and I've let out of this. So you're happy with that, just because I do want to give a little bit of attention to these last pieces as we put this together, and then we're going to be able to launch these test campaigns next week, and then over the following days and weeks that we have done.